Good evening. My name is Dr. Yolanda Gibson. I am the co-chair for our Quality Enhancement Plan Development Team. I'm here with my co-chair.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amanda Wright from the Department of Biology and Physical Sciences. Sorry. Hi, I'm Dr. Amanda Wright. I'm from the Department of Biology and Physical Sciences, and I am Yolanda's co-chair for the QEP development.
We also have some members from our committee here on the development team. We have our marketing and engagement team. We have Dr. Julie Reyes. She also is in the PT program. We have one of our students, Emily. She's a student working with us, a junior. And then we have Stephanie McDevitt. She's also a part of the co-chair for the writing committee. So this is pretty informative. We're going to give you some information. We're going to have an opportunity for you to ask us some questions. So feel free at any point to stop us. We do have some note cards. So if you're not willing to ask your question in a large crowd, you can certainly write your questions down and pass that forward, and we're happy to answer any questions. So how many of you have ever heard of a QEP, a Quality Enhancement Plan? Hands? Most faculty, staff? Yes? Even some students? Okay, great. So the Quality Enhancement Plan is a part of our reaffirmation for accreditation for all universities and colleges. And the whole purpose of this is we want to make sure that we're enhancing the student learning environment. So this is something that needs to impact all students, not just undergraduate students, but graduate students as well. And so one of the things that we're focusing on this year is creating a physical center for service. So as you know, we do a lot of service here at Marymount, but it's not always coordinated. So the purpose of our center is to serve as a clearinghouse or a focal point for all service activities here at Marymount. So with that, the mission of the Center for Service is to enhance student learning by providing the infrastructure and support for a learning environment that facilitates and encourages students to engage in lifelong service. So you're probably wondering, well, why a center? I know we do a lot of service. If you're in a student club, if you play a sport, maybe you're taking a course that's designated as service learning. We want to make sure that as we continue with Marymount's mission, vision, and core values, that we're committed to service. Many students have a strong interest in service. How many of you are interested in service? Would like to do more service? Great. Many alumni, they've already served, do a lot of service before they're a student, once they're a student, and even after they finish. So we find that it improves their student learning. So service is very important to us. So we do have some goals for our QEP. We want to make sure, again, it's a physical center. So this will be a space very similar to other centers that we have here on campus. And it's going to support, promote, and coordinate opportunities on campus, across the campus. So it will coordinate all of those efforts. It's going to also design and develop and implement a framework for sustainable service programming and assessment at Marymount. We want to make sure that we're assessing the projects. We want to also help our faculty. If faculty are interested in developing or creating service learning courses or community-based research and scholarship, we want to provide them with that opportunity, as well as courses for students. And ideally, we want to increase student participation. Again, we know students are conducting service, but we want to make sure that they're aware of all the service opportunities and give them that effective learning experience. Some of the activities, the center will serve as a clearinghouse to collect and disseminate information for service opportunities. So if you're looking for a service project and you're wondering, well, where do I go or what organization can I volunteer with, this center will serve as a clearinghouse. It will also provide training, professional development, and technical assistance for faculty. So again, those resources, the ability to create courses to help with service. We will also want to celebrate and recognize service activities. So we might have a community service fair, but we will invite our community partners on campus. They can learn about opportunities to connect with students, with faculty, with staff, and we want to make sure all of those service activities that we're doing are captured. We want to promote service learning courses by sharing syllabi and resources for faculty. So again, having guidelines, consistent criteria, designated service learning courses. And then again, assess the university's progress in creating a culture of service by utilizing technology to track service activities. In the spring, we're going to have a system where students can use, it's called OrgSync. So we'll be able to track all of the service activities. We can monitor that. We can track the number of hours that everyone's conducting service. And I will hand this over to my co-chair. Which microphone do I need? Both. Somehow. It's kind of weird.
All right. Okay, so You might be asking yourself, what does service look like? And what types of service activities are we talking about? So the purpose of this center is to actually coordinate lots of different types of service. So our graphic here, we kind of talk about service and what service is, and then we have given you some examples of this service. And I'm going to walk you through some of the examples of this type of service that are currently being done at Marymount. So we're talking about volunteerism, we're talking about community engagement, community partnerships, we're talking about those service learning courses, the community-based research, as well as extra and co-curricular service. So the center that we are talking about is going to coordinate all of these types of service activities and track all of these types of service activities. So for example, again, I just want to walk you through a couple of examples of this types of service that are currently being done at Marymount. So for example, we have students that make MU baby blankets. So these are a group of students that get together, they make these blankets, they send them out into the community. We also have students that work on a project called Go Baby Go. This is a really neat program where students take these electronic cars and they modify these cars for special needs children with mobility issues. Slide, please. Thank you. We have the Arlington Academy of Hope. So these are elementary education majors that are trying to make things better in the classroom. Marymount's been doing this since 2011 when we partnered with the Arlington Academy of Hope in Uganda to provide things like teacher training and conduct research and have more of a global impact. We have service learning courses. We have lots of service learning courses here at Marymount. One example of which is global service learning in nursing. And this is where students go out into the community. This particular picture is from Nicaragua, where students focus on health promotion and social justice in the community. We have a program called Hawksbill Hope. This is where we take a group of students to Belize every year to observe and tag and research the endangered Hawksbill sea turtle. We put tracking devices on them and then we can study those turtles throughout the year. We have the Saint Serve. How many of you have participated in Saint Serve? That is a big event on campus where students assemble care packages. This particular year is for teens transitioning from foster care into life on their own. They packaged up 2,000 care packages. So again, this is the type of service that is currently happening at Marymount that a lot of you guys participate in. We print 3D hands on campus. We have a 3D printing lab, and Dr. Eric Bubar and his students print prosthetic hands and arms. One is heading off to be printed right now. These are given to often children, but sometimes adults in the community that need these prosthetics for functioning hands. We have alternative spring break. Anybody been on an alternative spring break trip? Okay, a couple people, and some people are going to be signing up after this. This is where obviously students take their spring break. Instead of going to Florida, they go off to service projects. We've been to Jamaica, we've been to Kentucky, we've been lots of places all throughout the world where you just perform simple service acts, cleaning, cooking, helping people take care of their things. So these are some examples of service that are currently happening on campus. And again, Yolanda mentioned that the purpose of our center is to sort of be a clearinghouse and a focal point for all of these types of service. We already do a lot of this service, but we don't necessarily have a coordinated effort to coordinate all of this service. So that is the point of our center here. The next steps as far as the QEP. So we have a timeline that we're trying to stick to in order to get this accomplished by our deadline for SACS purposes. So we are currently in October where we are obtaining feedback from you guys. We're telling you where we are, what we've done so far. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your feedback so that we can move on further in the development process. By December, we need to finalize the mission statement, the focus statement, and the goals for the QEP. So that's what the development team is going to be working on at our October and our November meetings. Specifically working at the student goals as well as the institutional goals. Come early spring, January, March 2007, we are going to have a naming contest. So right now we're calling it a Center for Service. That is probably not the final name for our center. We want to have a naming contest. We want to have a logo contest. We're going to be working on assessment plans, looking at the organizational structure for how this committee is going to report to the university. We'll also be looking at our budget and identifying a location on campus for where this physical center will be housed. Later spring, in April and May, we're going to again be coming back to you guys and providing you with updates pertaining to those things that we've been working on: the budget, the assessment, the name of the center, the logo, the organizational structure. So we'll be coming back to you guys again in April for another chance for you guys to provide us with feedback. In the summer of 2017, so May to August of 2017, that is when we will finalize the written QEP. So we will actually do the writing that summer. We'll have the QEP ready to submit to SACS. During August of 2017 to early spring 2018, you will be hearing a lot about this center. We'll be coming out, we'll be promoting it, we'll be telling you about it. It's going to be in the implementation phase at that point. And we have our SACS visit in March of 2018 to get approval for the QEP. All right, so again, just a rehash of your QEP committee. So Yolanda and I, again, are your co-chairs. Stephanie McDevitt is also serving on the writing committee. We have the background contact subcommittee, the assessment subcommittee, and the Marymount engagement subcommittee. So these are the people that are serving on this development team. If you have any questions, concerns, feedback that you want to provide throughout this process, you can contact any one of these people. We also have an advisory board that is going to be giving us feedback and input throughout the developmental process. So it's our goal to have representatives across the university from every department, every division. We already have a lot of these people in place. As you can see here, the names of the people that have agreed to serve on this advisory board. We are still looking for a few representatives, but these people will serve an important role as we go on to develop the QEP. Lastly, I think you guys were given cards. You can feel free to write down questions or comments on your cards if you'd like, or we will take questions and comments at this time. So if you have questions for the committee, or if you have comments or things that you would like us to consider as you're moving forward, we're happy to take those now. If you get home and you have a burning question that you just forgot to ask, you are welcome to email us at qep@marymount.edu. We also have a presence on the portal where we have put all of our meeting minutes. Any information that you want to know about the QEP is there in that portal, so feel free to check that out as well. So at this point, we will take questions.
Okay, I'm Pamela Stossel, and I am the faculty advisor to the Fashion Club. It's an extremely well-run club, and our students put in hundreds of hours each academic year. Sometimes it's gone into thousands. They are helping out with major fashion events and other special events in the metropolitan area. And these events are often fundraisers to very fine charitable organizations. We run it well, just as it is. We keep track of all hours put in by all students and so on. So what do you want from it? I mean, we can send this to you each semester what's done, but we certainly can't work it out with you ahead because there simply wouldn't be time. It's done at a professional level now. How do you want to handle that?
So I think the point is we don't want to change what works. If it's working, we don't want to change that. The point of the center is just so that we can know about it. I mean, a lot of you may not have known that the Fashion Club does this great service and goes out to the community and does all this. So the point is, the point for the center, or the purpose of the center is to, oh sorry, I should be using both mics. It's confusing to use two mics. The purpose of the center is really just to serve as a clearinghouse for these types of events so that the university committee can know about it. Again, we don't want to change your process. If your process is working, we don't want to change that. We just want to the people in the center to be notified about it so that when we have these celebration events that we can celebrate the work that the Fashion Club does, and that other people on campus can know about the work that's going on. And if they somehow want to get involved or can help out, then they can see about it and know about it and have the opportunity to do that. So we are not wanting to change anything that works for you. If there is a need and there is a faculty member that says, man, I would really like to be able to do service learning, I just don't know how, or a student that says, gosh, I really want to do some service, I just don't know where to go or how to get involved, that's where the center can meet that need. Other questions?
We have a card?
Nope.
Okay.
Oops, sorry. Okay, we have a question that says, will this just be a place for us to find service opportunities, or will we be able to go to the center to find resources?
To clarify,
Oh, yes.
to find resources to do our own service programs.
Okay. All right, so the question, to clarify the question, it says find resources to maybe implement or start your own service programs. If I have an idea for a service event that I would like to do, I think absolutely the center is going to be a resource for you. There's going to be, again, we haven't fully worked out the reporting structure, but ideally there's going to be a director of this center. And I mean, you could go to this person and say, hey, I have this idea for a research or a service project. How do I go about getting this started? And the point is that those resources are going to be there for you to start that project. So it's going to be both. There's going to be, let's say I'm a student and I don't have a project, but I know I want to do some service. Then I could go to the center and say, okay, what service projects do we have going on right now? Because we listed a lot of things that are going on at Marymount right now. And I bet you that there were some things up there that a lot of people in the room didn't know that we did. So as a student, as a faculty member, as a staff member, I could go to the center and say, hey, I'd really like to get involved in service doing nursing or whatever, and the center is going to be there for you to point you in the right direction. All right. Other questions or comments?
I'll just add to that, we will have a website, so we'll be able to track, so you can see all of the partnerships that we have in the community. Currently, you can't do that at this point. So if you're thinking about doing a one-off, or every Saturday you could do a service project, you can easily go to the webpage and look that up. And so that's one of the reasons we want to help with that clearinghouse.
Are students able to get more involved in the QEP process other than just volunteers?
Repeat your question.
Okay. Are students able to get more involved in the QEP process, more than just coming to these sessions?
Yes. Absolutely. The question, as you mentioned, if students could get more involved than just coming to the sessions, one of the things that we're looking for is sophomore and juniors to serve on the development team, so that way you can weigh in and have input as we plan. When our accreditors visit the campus, they will interview students, staff, faculty, everyone here on campus. And so as we make key decisions, we want to make decisions that are based on students' needs. And so we do have, I believe, 3 students currently serving on the development team and the advisory board, but we would like more because we want to hear your input. And so you're the ones that this will impact years to come, as well as students behind you. So we want to make sure that the decisions that are made are not based on just faculty and staff. So we definitely want students involved. Email QEP@marymount.edu. If you could tell us your major and your class, that will be helpful as well.
I'm a senior, so I don't know if you'll want me, but
We will want alumni, so we will have alumni apart. So keep that in mind.
Criminal justice sociology.
Great, great. Good question. Any other questions?
In most places, most universities, in most schools and institutions, they actually track the student services hours to student government and student activities. Can you explain why there's a need for an entire center dedicated to just the service aspect of student leadership and student service? Is there already something established where student service hours are tracked versus allocating a whole new center for it?
Sure. So one of the things when you develop a QEP, it's almost like writing a paper. You need to be able to state the problem. And so current students are required to complete service, but it's not tracked or monitored currently. It's also not centralized. So again, this would have a place where if student clubs, for instance, I don't know, this fashion club, if they wanted to do something separate, they could easily go to this website and look at different organizations that they can maybe do. So at this point, we do not have that set up. What we have, as you saw, all the examples of service, but it's not coordinated, it's not tracked or assessed at this point. Any other questions? Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for your questions, your comments. We have several other sessions coming up. You're more than welcome to attend another one. I'm sure there'll be other questions. As you can see, we are recording these sessions, so we will post them on our portal. If you have additional questions or ideas or feedback, please email us as we continue to develop. This is a university-wide initiative, so we want feedback from everyone. Again, you can certainly email the co-chairs or come to another session. At any point, just ask Amanda and I or anyone on the committee that we had listed. We do have representatives from each department, each division, and again, we want more students as well. Thank you.